So when you think of a car like the Ford Bronco, you think of a place like this. We are out in, this is actually Lake Superior. We are out in the UP of Michigan driving the Ford Bronco, but this is a special one. This is called the Everglades Edition. The Ford Everglades Edition is designed to give you everything you want and need for off-roading in a place like this, where you're going to be driving through creeks, driving through mud, driving across rocks, climbing a mountain here or there, without having to take your Bronco to a modifier to have things put on it. It comes ready to roll right from the dealer's lot. What does that mean? Well, it has a skid plate. It has oversized off-road tires. It is lifted a little bit higher than other Ford Broncos. It's a little over 10 inches off the ground, or 10 inches of ground clearance. And it has rails on the top. It has a snorkel that's actually nicely built into the frame of the car that gives you air vents, your air intake from the top of the car rather than from underneath. And then it has everything that you need to drive through 36.4 inches of water. That's over 3 feet of water. It is crazy to drive through that much water, but guess what? We did. One of the things that we got to do on our drive was take advantage of this thing. This is a winch, and it can actually tow out or pull out up to 10,000 pounds, which is, if you get stuck in the mud in some place like northern Michigan where there's no cell signal, there are no telephones, and there's no tow truck that's going to come get you, it's one of these that's going to pull you out. The Ford Bronco is outfitted with everything that you want for the Bronco life. So these roof panels come off. You have this almost tackle box-like front console and all of your features here in the center. But I want to show you a couple of things. One is goat mode. If you buy the Everglades Edition, you will use goat mode, and you need that. We actually were in rock and mud setting all day today, which is 4 high for old school four-wheelers. And then we used 4 low to crawl over some actual rocks today. And that was pretty insane. In the Everglades Edition, you'll find all of the creature comforts here. So a really nice, large multimedia system, which is the new one from Ford. There's plenty of connectivity to charge your phones and cup holders, and then everything here is on the center console. So if you do take off the ceiling panels, and you can even remove the doors, you still have all your key functions right here in the center console. Here are your locking differential settings, and these are another feature that you're probably going to need if you're driving the Everglades Edition. But really, the big thing about the Everglades Edition is the 36.4 inches of water. That is incredible, something that you don't get in every Ford Bronco. There is no forward-facing camera on this car. The bad news is you don't have it. The good news is it does force you to learn where your tires are. You learn where each tire is, and to be able to make sure that you've got traction wherever you are. Now let's see if I can get this. Whoa. In there. Holy shit. Whoa. Oh my God, these people are insane to send us through this. And they knew exactly what they were doing too. Oh shit. Ford Bronco Everglades edition. It is designed to go through water, more water than any other Bronco. It's based on the Black Diamond edition, so most capable, and then even more so. And the idea behind the Everglades is that you can drive it off the dealer's lot and to a trail like this without doing anything to it. It has roof rails, it has rock panels, all the window panels and the ceiling panels are removable. So all of the things that you might go to a modifier and have them do to your Bronco so you can take it off-road and through swamps, it's already got all that. I'm kind of floating in mud, but I can still see the cars ahead of me, the Broncos ahead of me are also floating in mud. I can still see daylight underneath them because the ground clearance is so high. So what makes the Bronco so capable for these crazy off-road trails that we're driving? Well, it's not just four-wheel drive. Goat mode definitely gives you an advantage. We are in mud and rock mode. That's what we've been in since we hit the trail, and that's been plenty of capability and power. But there are other factors at play here that make the Ford Bronco Everglades edition capable, and that starts with the tires that they have on this SUV. So it needs tires that are wide and that have a thick tread and lots of grip. And in fact, to give them even more grip, they took some of the air out of the tires so that there's more of a flat surface able to grip these rocks and whatever else we're driving through. So the tires are super important. Another thing that's super important is the ground clearance. So you need significant ground clearance if you're going to be driving through mud, through water, over rocks, so that you know that you can clear any of those things, and that if you bounce down, that you're not going way far down. So you have plenty of ground clearance. Another thing is the skid plate. And so as we're driving, I'll hear a little clunking or scraping, and that is something hitting the underside of the car, and that's okay because there's a skid plate there that protects all the critical components underneath the car. So like your fuel tank and your oil pan and your transfer case, which transfers power from the front wheels to the rear wheels. All of those things are protected by that skid plate, which is a 1/4 inch of steel and enough to keep the car safe. That's something that if you were going to take this off-road, if you were to buy just, if you were going to modify an SUV for off-road, the first thing that you would invest in after you invest in tires, probably the second thing you would invest in is a skid plate. But it's a must-have. You must have a skid plate if you're going to drive in places like this. Otherwise, you may damage the car and not be able to get back. And you don't want that. It's not just any kind of off-road vehicle that requires that you wear heavy-duty outdoor boots like the ones I have on here. The Ford Bronco Everglades really put us to the test today. But here's a surprising fact. It is a 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine, 300 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque. So not super powerful, not over the top in terms of what you get under the hood, but totally over the top in terms of what you can do with it when you go off-road.